Hello and welcome to the Big Bad Marketing Podcast. I'm Janae.
And I'm Brooke, and we are two entrepreneurs jumping headfirst into building a business.
We're marketers and we're content creators at heart. And in this podcast, we help small business owners learn how to play big with their marketing efforts, even with a small business budget.
So if you're ready to make big bad moves in your professional life, this podcast is for you. Welcome to episode 13, How to Do a Competitive Analysis for Your Marketing. So, as a small business owner, you likely did competitive intelligence before you even opened your business. You probably did it as part of your business plan to sort of sort through your thinking and prove that there was a space available for your business to exist in. So that's wonderful. There will be some overlap with what we're talking about today, but primarily we are focusing on competitive intelligence as it pertains to marketing efforts. So, looking at your close competitors, figuring out how they're showing up in digital and some physical realms, how they're speaking about their offers and products, what are some of their strengths and weaknesses, and ultimately, how can you use this research to guide some of your upcoming marketing efforts? So it's not spying, it's not duplicating what you find, it's staying informed. And there's really not a need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to your small business marketing. So let's scope out the competition and see what everyone else is up to and how that can guide us forward.
Yes, I love that. It's really just paying attention. And I'm thinking, even as a customer, you would look at several different suppliers of a product or several different servicers before you make a purchase. I mean, some people take that route when they're making a purchase. So why is it any different? Like, that customer can look at all of this collateral that any given company has online or in person or, what have you, and make a decision about that brand. So you can do the same thing and use that information to help you make decisions for your own business, not
Yes.
spying.
Yes, exactly. And that's yet more reason to not duplicate what you're seeing, right? So, say you've got your top three competitors, they're all on Instagram, they're all posting about the exact same type of thing and saying it in the exact same way. Okay, maybe your opportunity then is to do a different style of post, address a different pain point than your competitors are talking about. How can you leverage this to really differentiate yourself in the space and not just push out more of the same for the consumers that are doing that type of comparison shopping?
Sure. There is a certain amount of both, because you're using this information and you're getting a sense of what works based on what your competitors are doing, especially if there are trends there. But you're also able to see, hey, here's what no one's trying yet, and or here's what's not working. And then you can use that, all distill that information and use it to your advantage as you move forward with your marketing.
Absolutely. So, before we hop into actually analyzing the competition, let's just broadly talk about the types of competitive analysis that you can do. So, the most basic form, and what we love to do here at Big Bad Marketing, is to just create a spreadsheet or a basic table where in your leftmost column, you are listing the criteria that you're looking for. So, that could be pricing, available offers, how they're talking about their offers, which platforms they're on. Um, Maybe something a little more broad about how it feels when you see their marketing
Mhm.
efforts, the feelings that it elicits for you. So define those criteria in the left-hand column, and then put the names of your competitors across the top. Put your business in the second column, right? Because you want to make sure that you are identifying these things about your business, and then you can quickly compare that to the competitors in the subsequent columns. So, post having that spreadsheet, you can then create what is referred to as a SWOT analysis, SWOT, which stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So you could use that intelligence to do this and put your own business on the map, or also include those competitors on the map to assess it sort of at a broader level.
I think we can share an example of this in the show notes of exactly how you can build out a spreadsheet to, in a very simple way, capture all of this information.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll share some examples as we get further into the episode for, things that we've found as well. So let's talk about analyzing the competition. Janae, where do I even start, right? I'm a gym. I know that I have competition out there. I looked at the gyms in my area when I was building my business initially, but it's been a couple years. Gyms come and go. Where do I start?
Yeah, I think this is a really crucial question. And the best first step is to do a big brain dump because, as we were just talking about this in preparation, right? It's like you don't want to only find businesses that are just like you, exactly like you, right around the corner, right? You want to at least have information about the other gyms in your neighborhood, yes, but big box gyms too. So, who are those corporate owned franchisee gyms? And what about more niche gyms like a Pilates studio or a fitness training center with what's the where they do the deadlifts? I'm
You're
moving
doing
my
it
arms up
over.
and down. I'm trying to think CrossFit gym or like a jujitsu studio, right? There's so many different angles that you can come at this with. And I think a really important first step is to just dump everything you can think of. Do a lot of research, find all of the things that exist, and then slowly you'll be able to hone away at that big list and find the ones that are much more specific to you. So that's going to look like writing down your local competitors, niche competitors, and then anyone who's still serving the same space as you, even if they're not doing it in exactly the same way.
Yes. And as you can probably imagine, it's easy to get a really long list here, right? So ultimately, we want to narrow this down to maybe say three, but no more than five competitors that we're actually going to dive deep into. If you go with all 27 competitors you find, this exercise is going to take way too long and it's probably not going to provide as much value because you're going to sort of be reaching. And one of the biggest things to consider with this competitive analysis is you're really trying to ultimately find your audience in this. So you don't want to talk to everyone. You don't necessarily want to talk to the people in the running club, but you at least need to be aware that the running club exists. And as a fitness facility, you're in competition against the running club because those are people choosing a different form of exercise that's not coming to your gym to lift weights. So it's kind of let's bring awareness to everything, but ultimately let's drill down into the three to five that we would consider your kind of top matches for competition.
What would you say are some good indicators that they are the right 3 to 5 to compare yourself with? Because I'm thinking like revenue is important. And if they're leaps and bounds ahead of you and they've been in business for 20 years, even if they're offering a similar product to a similar customer base, it might make for a very skewed analysis.
Yeah, so I think something like revenue or years in business could be a good metric. I think another thing is talking to your customers because they are the ones that have sort of gone through this comparison before. And you might have someone say, oh, yeah, I came over from Fitness ABCs because I felt like they weren't giving me X, or I moved across town. I was going to here, but now I'm going to here because it's closer. So sort of listen to what people are saying, maybe talk to your customers in your community of people if you have that opportunity, because they might let you know which competitors they examined when they were finding your product. So, yeah, I think businesses roughly in the same stage as you would be important though, because like we talked about a little bit earlier in preparation, if you're a mom and pop store that sells fresh produce, you're probably not going to want to compare yourself directly to a Publix or a larger grocery chain that has unlimited, marketing capacity and materials. Of course, yes, look at what they're doing. Look at how they're selling produce to their people. Look at the messaging that they're sending. But ultimately, you're not trying to directly compete with Publix on price or availability of products, things that are going to be completely outside of your scope and ability to do.
nailed it. Yeah, I think that's right. And that's why this is so much information gathering and just understanding all of the different angles that exist. But then you start honing in and figuring out, okay, these are really more my actual competition.
Yeah. And as you get into researching a particular competitor, you might say, you know what? They're not actually talking to my people at all. This gym is servicing people primarily over 60, and I'm actually looking for a younger demographic in their 20s and 30s that are maybe in the sort of building a family stage of life. So we're, in fact, not at all well matched in who we're talking to. So their messaging becomes kind of irrelevant when I think about it that way. So it's okay to start to look into these competitors and then say, this one actually needs to come off the list because that's not really the competitor that I'm looking for.
Sure. And be careful with that exercise as well, because ideally you do have a very specific niche and angle that you show up for in your industry that no one else is. And that's how you differentiate yourself and how you showed up to start your business was like, yes, there is a need for what I'm going to offer. So nobody is going to be exactly like you. And that's okay. This is
That's
all
good,
just,
in fact.
yes, that's great. So don't cut too many people off. The idea is to get a general understanding and find people who are similar and close enough.
Yes.
Okay, so now you've got your list. What's next? You've got your list of 3 to 5 competitors.
So now we're going to evaluate them based on the criteria that we have listed on the left-hand side of our spreadsheet and that we can continue to expand on as we go and as we sort of uncover new things about these people. So figure out who they're talking to. Who are they targeting? What do they seem to be doing well? Which offers are compelling? Are there reviews that mention particular things? Did someone mention that a facility is super clean, or the trainers are really educated, or they offer a nutrition program that they couldn't find anywhere else? Like, really dive into their website, their social media, the review platforms, like we talked about in our episode on managing your digital reputation. Figure out everything that you can, and don't be afraid to call these places if you have questions about things, right? So
Or
say
better yet,
you're,
go there.
yes, yeah, I mean, show up. Unless you're a celebrity, then people probably aren't going to know that you own the gym down the street, right? So if you don't want to call yourself, maybe have a partner or a friend or an employee call and say, hey, I'm thinking about switching gyms, and I'm looking between your gym and mention by name the one that you work at and see how they sell you the differences between them. Like, kind of let your competitors do some of the pitching and figure out what they're actually saying in the context of a new customer coming to them. And I don't think that that's sketchy at all. I think it's just using the available information and
Being informed, it's being a
being
good business
informed.
person. I
Yeah.
think go follow them on social media, sign up for their email newsletters, like actively participate in the industry. It's not to say that you're supporting them or you're going to buy from them, but you exist in the industry too. So it's okay to participate in it actively.
Yeah, and I think sometimes too, there might be opportunities for partnerships. Like, if your community at your gym has been saying, I would really love nutrition programming, but you just don't have someone on staff that really fills that need. Can you talk to another local gym that is really good at nutrition and perhaps have an offering with them and, kind of best of both worlds, help your community get what they want, help this other business have access to a new community. So there can be some symbiotic relationship with it too. It doesn't need to all be about, they're my competition, they're my enemy, I'm not going to do anything to help them, because in this sort of small business local ecosystem, there might be more opportunity than you're aware of.
Oh, yes. And it's making me think of referrals. Like, wouldn't it be great to be like, oh, actually, we don't serve your demographic, but this other gym across town does. And I think you'd be an excellent fit there. And then they'll do the same for you.
Yes.
So making sure that you have that reciprocity and that like that good vibe, so to speak, like that's also part of this existing in a positive way as a small business.
Yeah.
And it made me think of a moment where when I was teaching yoga, the yoga studio and the local Pilates studio got together and we did a shared day retreat experience where there was a yoga class and then there was a Pilates session and then the juice bar got in on it and they came and handed out juices like and it was a giant team community experience instead of like no like one team against the other.
Yes. And if the yoga studio had no awareness of the Pilates studio and what they offered, that partnership never would have come to be. So this exercise can be just all around valuable for your business as you think about your offerings and what the others in your same space are doing. Okay,
Mhm.
so you've done your research, you got your spreadsheet. Where do we head from here? What do we do with all this information?
Connect the dots. Now it's time to review the information and scope out trends and draw conclusions. What can you find as key takeaways that are meaningful that you can put to use? So you've compared across the brands. What can you understand in a new way about the industry, about your potential audience, and what is working across the board for your competitors and what's not working?
Yeah. Seize the opportunity to look at where your competitors are strong and say, okay, they're really strong here. Is that a space I really want to go into? Or should I sort of concede these efforts and let them be the go-to in this space? Similarly, look at where they're weak. Is there a space where you can sort of swoop in and capture the audience by providing a product or a service offering that's really going to appeal to them?
That's absolutely where you can find your competitive advantage. And maybe you already have one that's delineated, but the more you see space for it among your competition in your community, the more you can highlight that and let it shine and focus on that as one of your key offerings to really set yourself apart because of this special factor that you're doing that no one else is.
Yes. And ultimately, you're using all of this data to guide the prioritization of your efforts. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to act on everything you find. So, as an example, if you found that your top five competitors are all charging a price point that's significantly lower than yours, okay, on the one hand, that sort of would lead you to believe that you need to bring down your price to be competitive. But on the other hand, if you're offering a boutique service at a nicer facility and you've got more trained coaches and you've got better accountability and all these other things, maybe it's worth that price point and maybe you don't need to go that route of making that quick shift. Similarly, if all of your competitors are heavily on a particular social media platform, but you don't necessarily have the staff to do social media well at present or the time yourself, then maybe that's not the right move for you right now. So really evaluate everything that's going on, but prioritize it and be real about what you can and cannot change and what you should and should not change based on what you found.
Oh, yes. And if you really just don't have the time, the wherewithal, the know how to do this yourself or a team to do it for you, bigbadmarketing.com is here for you. This is what we love to do. We love to help you with that and make it easy for you. So go ahead and visit our website and let's partner.
Yes. And ultimately, what we want to help small businesses do is build that strategic plan for marketing. So let's take these insights, adjust your approach to marketing, and use it to make informed decisions about the gaps in your market, your opportunities, and where you can really blow it out of the water where no one else is showing up for your audience the way that you can.
Yes, because I think so often, and I know we have talked about it in other episodes, but people jump the gun. They see their competition is offering this really special low price, or that they're showing up, just like you said, on Instagram really hard. And you start to copy that and mimic it and be like, we can do it too. And you make this rash decisions and reactive. And if you can slow that down, I think that's what we are all about is rather than racing to get somewhere and burning out, do it the slow, steady way that's going to be sustainable and set you up for long term success. So you're not later down the line like, dang, we brought in all these people at this really low price point and we cannot sustain this business model anymore because it's not the appropriate cost benefit analysis.
Yes, and that's so true because especially if we are seeing others be successful, we so desperately want to be in that place ourselves. So we do tend to jump the gun and we will hop on board these trains or these trends that maybe aren't serving us in the long run, but having that really well thought out strategic marketing plan that you are following for the year, plug for our annual marketing calendar downloaded on our website. Um, if you have that in place, you really can be assured that you are doing the right things, you're moving in the right direction, and ultimately you are heading to a place that is going to be beneficial for your business. You might not see the results today, tomorrow, 3 months from now, but over the long term, those marketing efforts that you outlined are going to end up serving you, not these sort of quick cash grabs that maybe you're seeing in from some of your competitors.
Mm-hmm.